All right, here we go again. Awfully cool out there today. But it's going to warm back up again. It's nice every once in a while to be a little cool. Actually looks like snow in the sky if you look at the clouds. Fluffy, kind of mixed colored clouds. Some dark, some light. Low ceiling. So God has these plans for people in their lives. And God sends the healers forth to heal the people so that they could have these lives. And those things that we wrestle against that are not flesh and blood, but yet are flesh and blood, which means they are spiritually causing failure in the people's lives, and that failure runs the gambit of what failure is, including sin and crime, so that their life would be different than what God had specified and had prepared for their lives through bringing healers and powers of wellness around them. So that's a pretty bad thing that's happening. I figured God would have me come here. There was like foreshadowing. I had a feeling that I would move to a battleground state. Those people are right. What do they got going on? I guess they're okay. So these are the things that we wrestle against. They're spiritual, but they are moved and reside within flesh and blood. What happened is the more people wanted to harm their neighbor, the more of these demonic beings were born on earth. And they're taking over all of the institutions, and they've, formed the deep state. And this is where we are. And that's what a lot of these watchers on the watch list are actually doing. They're not, they might do their job, but, of course, their focus, what they treasure the most is their deep state activity using that watch list. And that's what they're actually paid for and what they're put there for. So again, the regular activity is the cover. So if terrorism were to end, if war were to end, they would be less powerful. And that's where we were in 1998, 99, 2000, 9/11. Everything changed with 9/11. They became as powerful as they needed to be, which means as much corruption they wanted to engage in, they could. And of course, it's anti-power. It's not power, but it replaces power. And what you've seen in our nation is you've seen anti-power replace power. But that's both political parties. It's in both of them. The Republican Party is trying to fix, but I don't know if they will. And believe you me, the bigger you are, the harder God will slam you in hell. So don't look at monetary charity as some redemption. It's just not going to work. And that I'd say that to President Trump also. I just don't believe President Trump's somebody that moves the heart to cause him to sin and fall to make himself feel better. I could be wrong. Again, like God will judge it. So again, when we look at what the difference is between President Trump and other people will will others to fall to make themselves look better. Now, being angry, that's understandable. Having the thought, oh, maybe, because usually it's Satan. If you're a good person and you get a thought that you want somebody to have something bad happen to them, it's usually Satan, and your heart can't do it. Even if you speak it. See, this is the lie on earth. Most people that don't say anything are the ones that are actually doing it. And they're out there with their millions of dollars in charity or their $5 in charity, whichever one they are at that moment. So we'll see where I go. I'm going to have to look at some vehicles here shortly and figure all this out. It's beginning to feel a lot like Christmas here. So we're still heading towards Easter. And if you wonder how the crucifixion could happen to such a nice guy as Rabbi Jesus Emmanuel Christ, Ben David, son of David, Ben Elohim, son of God, realize that it was the deep state. It's exactly what's going on today. What you see is not what you get. And what you get is not what you saw. And that's really what's happening. Well, praise God in all that you do. Praise God.